Moving in to week 3. Next week outlook. What are the big games? What do I want to see? What am I looking forward to watching? What should you be paying attention to going into next week? Raiders, Commanders. This might be a little bit of a bias thing to put in there because I know I'm a Commanders fan, but I want to know, how does Washington bounce back? Am I right? Is Green Bay the best team in the league and they just make teams look sorry, which is what happened to the Lions and what happened to Washington? Is that what's going on? Or are there some bigger problems at the helm for the Washington Commanders? Is Jaden Daniels going to bounce back? We haven't seen a loss like this where Jaden Daniels has been able to come back the next week. Yes, that happened in the NFC Championship against the Philadelphia Eagles, but there was an entire offseason until week 1 and his return. Now we're seeing it in week 2 against the Green Bay Packers. Can they come back against the Las Vegas Raiders, who we don't know how they're going to perform tonight? We know how they performed last week against the Patriots. They look good. Geno Smith looked good. Washington is going to have to bring their A game to win this game. Can they bring it? That's the question, and I want to know. Is Jaden Daniels going to come back, and is he going to bounce back? That's what I want to know. Next game, rematch of the NFC Divisional Round, Rams versus Eagles. This is going to be a phenomenal game. At least I hope so, because Philadelphia has struggled a little bit to start this season. The Rams have had some struggles to start this season as well, yet both teams are 2-0. I want to know, which of these two teams comes out on top? Have the Rams learned from their mistakes against the Eagles in the divisional round last year? Have the Eagles been able to pick up where they left off last season now that they started the season 2-0? What is going to happen with these two teams? Both great defenses, both great offenses. I want to know who gets on top. That's going to be a game to watch. Texans, Jags, CJ Stroud. I know he's playing tonight, and I hate to add another game where there's a team playing that plays tonight because we've only seen 1 week of them. But I want to know, can CJ Stroud bring it back? Is he going to have a prove-it game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tonight? Is he going to have a prove-it game next week against the Jaguars? We just saw Joe Burrow perform well when he was playing before he got hurt. And then we saw Jake Browning come in. And aside from a few really, really, really poor turnovers, Jake Browning looked good. The Bengals got the win. Can CJ Stroud look good and get the win for the Houston Texans against the Jaguars? Can the Jaguars bounce back after a, to be frank, sorry loss against the Cincinnati Bengals and their backup quarterback, Jake Browning? Can Trevor Lawrence come back? And this Texans defense is no joke. This is going to be a real test for Jacksonville, and I want to know, do they have enough? Is Trevor Lawrence the answer? That's a question that we don't know the answer to at this point in time. We don't know if CJ Stroud's the answer. Well, we know he's at least better than Trevor Lawrence at this current point in time, but I want to see both of them, and I want to see both of them have a bigger performance going into next week. Moving on, next game, Cowboys, Bears. The Cowboys offense has been up and down this season. Against the Eagles, they looked great to start, and then they fell off. Against the Giants, they started off slow, but then they picked up. What kind of Cowboys team are we going to see? And for the Bears, we saw the same thing. Against the Vikings, they looked amazing in the first half. The fact that it was 10-6 going into halftime was absolutely nothing short of disappointing. And they still found a way to lose the game. The Chicago Bears have been up and down as well. I want to know, what Cowboys team do we see? Or is their offense going to explode again? Or are they gonna take a step back a little bit? For the Bears, I want to know, do they get their first win of the Ben Johnson era? Do they get their first win? Caleb Williams needs to show that he is the elite quarterback that Bears fans have been hoping for. Ben Johnson needs to show that he's capable of winning a game against a team that is able to slow them down. Prove it as a head coach. Prove it as a quarterback. Prove it as a team. I want to see Cowboys, Bears. Who steps up? Who shines the most? And lastly, it's a primetime game, but this might be one of the best games of the season. Lions, Ravens. Ravens, week 1 against the Bills, was one of the most electric games that we have seen in ages. At least in a week 1 game. And the Baltimore Ravens look so phenomenal. And the Lions in week 1 played the Packers, and they looked atrocious. In week 2, for the Lions, it was the complete opposite. They faced off against another divisional opponent, the Chicago Bears. And what do? They put the hammer down. The Detroit Lions put up 52 points against the Chicago Bears. Their offense looked exactly like what we thought their offense was. Amon-Ra, 3 touchdowns. Jared Goff looked amazing. Their bounce-back win was phenomenal. The Ravens played against the Cleveland Browns. They won that game. I don't need to talk that much about it. Lions, Ravens, these are 2 teams who last year, people had been predicting the 2 of them to play each other in the Super Bowl. It didn't happen for either. They both lost in the divisional round. But both of these teams are absolutely phenomenal, and I'm so excited to see who is going to prove to be more electric when it matters most. Who is going to prove to have the better offense? Because we all know at the end of the day, these defenses are good, but their offenses are great. And I want to see, does Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, do they have enough? Or do the Detroit Lions, filled with playmakers all around, do they have enough? Which team comes out on top? I want to know, and I know you want to also.